Dear participants, welcome to the second session of the national level workshop. Madhavi madam, to say a few words about that our resource person, Professor Mayatri sir. So to that, Madhavi madam, please, this is resource person.
Good morning, everyone. I am Madhavi from University College, Westland. Good morning, sir. I once again welcome all the participants to this event. In this session 8, we have Dr. P. Malyadri, sir, from CES Hyderabad with us. Sir will give us his valuable suggestions on how to write a good article for UGC, Scopus, APTC applications. We thank and express our gratitude to Dr. Malyadri, sir, for readily accepting our proposal to deliver the invited lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Before handing over the stage to sir, I would like to present a brief his experience and achievements for the overall benefit of the audience. Dr. P. Malyadri, sir, obtained doctorate in commerce in 1991 and rendered services in government with 33 years of experience of teaching, research, administration, training, and consultancy. A prolific writer, Dr. Malyadri, sir, has authored 8 books and 145 research papers in various national and international journals of repute, including Scopus Index. He is a peer team member, NAC Bangalore. Under his guidance, 14 PhDs and 18 MPhils were awarded in the Department of Commerce and Business Management, Osmania University, and also other universities. He is on the International Editorial Advisory Boards as a member in 355 international peer-reviewed journals, including Scopus Index. Dr. Malyadri, sir, he carried out 2 major research projects sponsored by the UGC, New Delhi. His latest book, entitled Blockchain Technology and Applications for Digital Marketing, was published by world popular publisher IGI Global, USA. He is an adjudicator for doctoral theses in commerce and management in several Indian universities. He has organized UGC-sponsored national seminars and presented several research papers in around 100 national and international seminars and conferences. He has given more than 200 talks in online as a keynote speaker, resource person in various international webinars, and sir reviewed more than articles for the international peer-reviewed journals. He delivered a keynote address at international conference held at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Bangkok, Thailand, and sir is presently the chairman, governing body, Aurora PG College, Osmania University. Dr. Malyadri, sir, he served as a principal for more than a decade in affiliated colleges of Osmania University and Rayalaseema University, and he also served as director in JNUH affiliated engineering college. He got an award of senior fellowship from ICSSR, New Delhi, and he is presently as a ICSSR senior fellow at CES, Center for Economic and Social Studies, Hyderabad. He is also serving as inspecting authorities appointed by Ministry of Minority Affairs, Government of India, to conduct inspections of the NGOs, institutions, skill development centers across the country for 4 years. He received several outstanding awards for his academic achievements. Dr. Malyadri, sir, is the State Level Best Teacher Awardee in the year 2008, honored by Government of Andhra Pradesh. Sir, with this I now request to guide us, enlighten us with your views, your ideas, your suggestions, and your advices. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. I'm extremely happy to associate with the economics department of Osmania University in connection with a lecture on writing research papers in top indexed journals. At the outset, I am thankful to the head of the Department of Economics, Usmania University, and Professor Ramakrishna, visiting professor, Central University of Andhra Pradesh, and also Dr. Kondal, who is actively coordinating this program. And my dear participants, today I would like to focus on writing research papers and how best I may be able to motivate you to write a paper and publish in international journals or highly indexed journals. You are aware that research is a multi-dimensional. The role of research has massively increased in all the subjects, which helps in making proper decision. There is a balancing between research and teaching. Many academicians, they think that research is different and teaching is different. No, not at all. Research is also mandatory for providing good inputs, quality inputs. Now we need quality education. Now we need quality education and a need-based education. So therefore, there is a dire need to indulge with research activities and conduct empirical studies. Conduct empirical studies, analyze the data, interpret the data, and come out with good inferences, so that you may be able to provide some inputs to the society or to the government or to the industry. There are three stakeholders are waiting for our research results. One, government. Two, industry. Three, policymakers. So therefore, there is a dire need, being an academician, there is a dire need to conduct empirical studies, not secondary data-based studies. There is no value for secondary data-based studies. If you want to publish research papers in high-indexed journals like Scopus, ABDC, Web of Science, FT50, all these indexed journals, you need to upload your profile with rcid.com, ORCID, rcid.org, sorry, rcid.org. If you upload your data profile with rcid.org, you will be given one web link. That is a mandatory for every author to publish research papers in high indexed journals. In addition, you need to upload your profile in livedna.net. livedna.net, livedna.net. That is also free. That you will be given one web link if you can upload your profile. Like that, Google Scholar, Academia, ResearchGate, all platforms, all websites, you are supposed to upload the information so that you will be provided web links. The same web links can be pasted in your CV so that your profile will be highlighted, right? Now, before going to present with my PPT, please make note that so far the sessions are held with completely data analysis, data interpretation, and completely numerical analysis, numerical data, numerical aptitude. But now my session is different. My session is only theoretical, but with my practical experience in reviewing more than 2,000 articles for 365 international journals published in throughout the globe, I am sharing the information. Wait for 2 minutes. I will share the PPT and explain. Is it visible, please?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Thank you. Tell me, next slide is also visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next also visible, sir.
Thank you. So welcome to the participants of national level workshop organized by the Department of Economics, Usmania University, sponsored by ICSSR, Hyderabad. Today, I am going to take up a session on how to write a good article for UGC, Scopus, Web of Science, or ABDC or FT50 and high indexed journals. Let me brief about why you are supposed to write research papers. What is the need? Because people think that when I am attending my teaching work, why should I write articles? Many teachers are thinking like that. No, not at all. You are supposed to publish research papers. If you publish research papers, then only you may be able to provide good inputs to the students. And students should also be indulged with research activities. That is called experiential learning. Once the students are indulged with research activities, once the students are involved with empirical evidence, they need not be explained thoroughly because they know everything about the realities at the grassroots level. Now, I will brief about why you need to publish to enhance your knowledge, definitely. And through research, through conduct of studies, you will get good analytical skills. And undoubtedly, you may have creative thinking. It helps for providing good placement, either in university, either in degree college, government college, either in central university. So go on publishing papers in top indexed journals. And those who are already working, they will get more API score if they publish more research papers. Of course, it helps also for the selection of research project. Suppose if you can apply for research project sponsored by ICSSR or any funding agency, your profile, which is having good number of research papers, definitely it helps for selection of research project. Fellowships. Yes, doctoral fellowship, postdoctoral fellowship, senior fellowship, or UGC emeritus fellowship. All these fellowships are given based upon your publications profile. Please make a note of it. Financial rewards. It is quite interesting to note that many engineering colleges, many MBA colleges, many institutions are rewarding for the publication of articles in Scopus indexed. Sometimes some colleges are paying 20,000, 25,000 like that. Next, institutional ranking. Yes, if you are good at publishing research papers, your institutional rank will also be improved, either NRF, either NAC, or NB, which you relates. No doubt, your popularity and reputation will also be increased through publications. With regard to thesis submission, you are all aware that every PhD scholar is supposed to publish 2 research papers in UGC care list or Scopus index. Then only they are eligible to submit thesis, right? And finally, being an academician, you have social responsibility. You have social responsibility to disseminate your research results for the betterment of the society. That's most important, which you are supposed to be motivated and publish prepare research papers and publish. Next, what are the different research articles? I told you that 90% of the research papers which are related to empirical, with empirical evidence, are published in high indexed journals. That means general articles, conceptual articles are discouraged. That is, secondary data based articles are discouraged. So therefore, I can simply give a comment on secondary data based studies. It is just like a postmortem reports. So therefore, I strongly appeal the research scholars or the faculty members, go ahead with conduct of an empirical study, a study, so that you will get good empirical evidence and you can publish in Scopus. With regard to review article, it is invented by editor. There will be no methodology. It is purely based upon the existing studies. That is called a review article. Theoretical article, it explore new theories based upon existing research. That is called theoretical article. Edited book, you can publish, you can contribute articles as a chapter or articles to edited book, and the same book may be indexed with Scopus or high indexed publishers. Even conference proceedings also, you can present a paper in conference and it will be published. The same may be indexed. So the beginners, those who are the research scholars, I appeal to contribute the papers to edited book and conference proceedings, which is a little bit easy for you. Then you think of going to publish in Scopus. That is better idea. Next, book review. Book review is simply a summary of newly published book. So the new book will be sent to the expert and a review may be prepared. The same may be published in the journal at the end. Editorial, it is only written by the editorial board members. That is all about different types of research articles. Next, what is Scopus? Everybody talk about Scopus. You need to publish in Scopus. What is Scopus? Why we need to publish Scopus? Scopus is a database with many citations for different academic journals. It was established by Elsevier in 2004. Of course, it covers many subjects like sciences, engineering, medicine, arts, and humanities. So almost all subjects they covered. And right now, there are around 37,000 journals which are published by 12,000 publishers. And there is a database of more than 70 million abstracts which are available by Scopus. Scopus ID is given to every author. Those who publish 2 articles, if you publish 2 articles in Scopus Index, you will be given an ID, Scopus ID. That ID is a pre to the author. You can affix in your CV. That is a prestige. Once if you click the ID, your list of articles published will display. That is given by the Scopus. But the condition is you should publish 2 articles, right? Next, the Scopus Index is provided 4 types of quality journals. We may call it as quartiles. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 of Chicago Journal Ranking, SJR, what we may call it as SJR. So Q1 is top and Q2 is also next, and forget about Q3, Q4. But the beginners, you can try for Q3, Q4. But it is, you should be cautious that at any time the journals which are in Q3, Q4 may be delisted, may be discontinued by the Scopus. So time to time you have to check it up in scopus.com while sending the article. It is quite interesting to note that you know about the impact factor. Impact factor, the Scopus can never provide impact factor. It provides only site score and SGR. So site score is calculated on the basis of 3 years data, whereas impact factor is prepared on the basis of 2 years data. That I will separately explain about the impact factor. Next, Web of Science journals. It was launched by Clarivate Analytics company, 1997. Of course, it also covers almost all subjects. Right now, there are around 20,000 titles with 90 million articles database. And they have some core collections related to faculty-wise, social sciences, SSCI. There are around 4,000 journals with regards to arts, ASCA. There are around 2,000 articles, journals like that. Science, emerging sources citation index, book citation index, conference proceeding citation index, like that. There are core collections of Web of Science. Next, ABDC journals. We call it as Australian Business Deans Council. It was developed in the year 2007. This ABDC focused on economics, commerce, management, only very limited subjects, finance, transport, marketing, tourism. There are 3 categories of ABDC journals. As on 2019, there are around 2,682 journals indexed by ABDC. The categories are just like Scopus, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. On the same lines, for ABDC also, A star, A, B, C. So there are 4 categories. A star, A, 1 category, B, C. So time to time, ABDC may update the data, journal database. Next, UGC care list journals. Yeah, you are all aware about it. It was in the year 2018, CARE, Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics, was established, and it has a committee to supervise the UGC care, and the committee governs by the Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. They have council members also, representatives from various categories, from government, from social sciences, arts, medical, agriculture, etc. And right now, there are 4 universities, UGC care universities. Entire south, it will take care of University of Hyderabad, Jawaharlal Nehru University North, and Tejpur University Eastern side, MS University of Baroda Western side. There is a UGC cell for journal analysis, Center for Publication Ethics, which is located in Savitribai Phule University. So to include a journal in UGC care list, the procedure is, you know very well, every university is having one IQAC headed by a director. So the director will recommend the journal to the concerned UGC Care University. Say, for example, in North University of Hyderabad, and University of Hyderabad will review the journal, and the same may be forwarded to the Savitribai Phule University for further necessary action. That is the procedure in identifying the UGC Care List journal. Next, basically there are two care list groups, one group 1 and another one is group 2. Group 1 is just like the subjects related to sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, multidiscipline, and Indian languages. Almost all journals, commonly India or outside the country. Next, group 2, it is highly indexed in globally recognized database, like as I discussed with you, Web of Science, Scopus, and you may call it as ABDC or FT50. Time to time, UGC care list may be updated. They will put up the predatory journals, cloned journals list, because you must be cautious. Whenever you submit the article, you should be cautious in sending the article. You must see the database. If you want to send an article to Scopus, go to the scopus.com and check. If you want to send an article to Web of Science journal, go to Web of Science website. So this is about UGC care list. Next, impact factor. What is impact factor? Impact factor is average number of citations to average number of citations for the articles which are published in a journal for the last 2 years. In fact, it was devised by Eugene Gehriefeld, the founder of the Institute for Scientific Information. See, impact factor is used for measuring the rank of journal. If it is high, it is a high quality journal. So it may be called as top quality journal. Suppose I will give you an example how to calculate the impact factor. Suppose impact factor 2019 is equal to citations in 2018 plus 2017. So in 2018, of the total articles, how many citations are there? The total citations divided by the articles published in 2018 in different issues and 17. For example, citations to 2018 150, 2017 150. Articles 300. So is equal to impact factor is 0.50. So you can verify the citation reports via Web of Science data. So you can go to Web of Science and you can check the impact factor. Now, this is an important issue for every author, for every scholar, for every faculty member, because you may take difficulty in conducting a research study, analyzing visiting the field, collecting the information from the respondents, analyzing the data. It was already discussed at length. Analyzing, interpreting the data, everything is over. I think for conduct of a study, it may take at least 2 months or 3 months. But article is ready, you have prepared, but selecting a journal, right journal, may be very difficult. Sometimes it takes 1 month or 2 months also. It is a typical issue, because if you go to the website, many predatory journals are waiting to catch hold of you, to cheat you. Everybody think that, yeah, I published in Scopus. If you check it up, that is a predator. If you check it up, that is a cloned. So, my dear scholars, be careful in publishing research papers, either in Scopus or Web of Science. Once, if you send an article, within 24 hours they accept, and they ask you to pay the money. By next day, article will be uploaded. No review, no plagiarism, no checking of grammar. That is a predatory. That is a clone. That is a duplicate. Please be careful. However, if it is a good journal, how to select a right journal? That I will brief you. These points are helpful for you for selecting good journal. Check the periodicity. That means if it is a monthly or if it is bi-monthly, if it is a quarterly, you check it out. Because if it is a monthly, there is a chance of publishing at an earlier. If it is quarterly, it takes a lot of time. So that you have to check it out. Check journal aim and scope. So go to the website of the journal, check the guidelines, whether your article is suited on par with the journal aims. Next, check journal continuity. That is also most important. Whether the journal is regularly publishing or not. Is there any discontinued for some time, that you have to check it out. Check the level of acceptance. In guidelines, some information may be provided like 10%, 15%, 20%. Even high indexed journals, Q1 journals, sometimes only 1% acceptance. So if they receive 100 articles, only one article may be accepted. That is 1%. So you check 10%, 20. If it is 20%, go ahead, so that you have a chance to publish. Next, check impact factor. Yes, what is the score of the impact factor? That also, if it is a good impact factor, maybe 4, 5, that is a top quality. Check ISSN. Generally, ISSN may be there for all high indexed journals, that you need not worry. Check previous issues. Why you need to check the previous issues? If at all it is already published on your theme, again, if you send the same article, generally it takes a lot of time to publish. So therefore, you need to refer previous issues. Next, check average time to publish. What is the time taken by the publisher to publish? That you have to check it out. Check the field of specialization. What is the field? Say, for example, each journal may specialize in, say, for example, one journal may specialize in microeconomics. One journal may be specialized in macroeconomics. Like different specialization are there. Whether it is suited or not, you have to check it out. Check the level of readers. Check the peer review system. See, the quartile 1, especially Scopus Index journals, they send it, after receiving your article, they send it to 3 blind reviews. 3 blind reviewers. You know, the Scopus or any journal which is peer reviewed, they take a lot of time to publish. Why? Because reviewers may take a lot of time to send the review reports. Of course, there are some reasons. Reviewers are not paid any honorarium. It is absolutely free. I am a reviewer for 365 international journals, which I am providing service at free of cost. It is only honorary. So naturally, I take my own time to send the report. Next, check the editorial board. That is also most important. You check the profile of the editorial board members. Check journal names that appears in the reference. So, of course, some articles might be published. You go to the references. In references, some articles are given. Which journal it was published, that also you can check it up, so that you can select your journal. Use the free online tool. You can go to the specific Scopus or Web of Science, and you can select the journal based upon providing information, title or abstract. Free online tools also, you can make use of it. Next, select continuation. Check the popularity of the publisher. Yes, Springer, Emerald, Elsevier, Ender Science. You know, Ender Science, almost all journals are Scopus indexed. They publish articles without receiving single paisa, absolutely free. So, my dear participants, please try to publish research papers at free of cost. What we may call it as without any APC. APC means article processing charge. Check the grading of journal. What is the grade? That means quartile 1, quartile 2, like that. Check the archives. You can go to the website of the journal. You can check the old volumes. The old volumes are provided. How long? What is the age of the journal? That you can decide. Check the predatory or cloned journal. That is also most important. Suppose if you want to publish UGC care list, you can go to the UGC care list. They might be provided predatory list. Check the indexed journals, Web of Science, Scopus, ABDC. Check the popularity of the journal. Already I told about the publisher and other issues. Check the APC. APC is most important. Article processing charge, editorial quality, efficient journal administration. Means suppose if you send an article, whether they are promptly responding or not, that you have to check it up. Author rights and copyrights, that also once your article is accepted, you are supposed to submit a copyright. Invitation to publish article, sometimes you may get invitation, that also you can consider, but sometimes other than the subjects are also referred you, that you have to check it out. Editorial quality, that I've already told you. Check the DOI, digital object identifier. Yes, digital object identifier is a permanent link which is given to authors. DOI is a permanent link which is given to every article. That I will check and that I will discuss at length separately in a separate slide. Next, first, how to choose your topic. So before going for conduct of a study, first you have to decide a topic. How to decide a topic? Find the trends of the subject, your subject area, which should be current hot topic, and it should be unique and new. Now COVID, what is the impact on different service sectors? You can select, pick something you love, and you should have clarity on the broader topic. Read the different articles. Check whether a specific topic addressed already. Of course, I already told you that whether it is already covered. If it is covered, don't focus on it. You go to other topic. Provide solution to some difficult problems. So you need to provide some solutions. You need to provide some empirical evidence. So here, the main aim of the research is to discover answers through scientific research methods, right? Provide solutions to some specific problems, difficult problems. Get advice. If you are not able to decide, take advice from your seniors or colleagues. Next, the process of article writing. So for any high indexed journal like Scopus, Web of Science, ABDC, or FT50, Financial Times 50, you need to follow these process. First title, next abstract, introduction, literature review, research gap, objectives of the study, hypothesis, research method, process, results, discussion part, conclusions, scope for further research, and finally, you are supposed to acknowledge. Suppose you have received any fund for conduct of a study, you have to acknowledge the agency, and finally, your citations list, references. And if at all any supplementary data, you are supposed to provide at the end of the article. So now I will focus on some of the issues because I can't discuss all the issues due to time constraint. And of course, with regard to statistical part, there was a threadbare discussion for the last 2 days. So I need not discuss at length. I will discuss only a few issues about all these points, which you are going to be careful. First, title. Okay, you have chosen one wonderful topic, conducted a study, analyzed, interpreted, you got some results, provided you got some inputs. Now you are supposed to finalize the title. So the title must be not more than 10 to 15 words. As possible as it should be as short as possible. Avoid long titles. No, there should not be long title. And there should not be any technical words used, or you should not use any abbreviations. It should be unique and memorable. You are supposed to provide the importance of research in the title. Avoid duplication of title. How to avoid duplication of title? Go to Google. Once you finalize the topic, go to Google, type the same title. Then you will get many titles like articles, books, etc. So if it is same title which is available, you slightly change. So finally, avoid duplication of the title. Informative but concise. Yes, it should be informative. It should be concise and it should be catchy. Title should always be catchy. And you are supposed to convey your main issue. I told you a very important thing is don't, as possible, avoid question marks of your title. Of course, for some titles we need question marks, but as possible as avoid the titles. Right? Say, for example, recently I have given a lecture at a global level that is on mergers in Indian banking industry, boon or bane. It is a question mark. So such a titles, of course, you can give the title, and finally our intention is to attract the readers, right? So always journal feels how they wanted to attract the readers. So the number of readers should be increased. Okay, next, abstract. So after finalizing the title, you are supposed to prepare abstract, because the entire summary of your article, of your study is ready with you, but you have to summarize in one paragraph. That is called abstract. Of course, this is an advertisement of your article. It must be interesting and easy to understand. And it must be accurate and it must be specific. Nice, you be briefly explain as possible as. So ultimately, you encourage the reader to read further. It should be accurate and specific. Please note that always use the past tense. Avoid not as well, 100% avoid citing the work of others. No citations in abstract. Never contain new information. It should be related to article only, your theme only, your study only. It should include contributions, approach, results, and summarize the paper in one paragraph. So as far as possible, abstract should be in only one paragraph, and the word limit may be 250 words. Of course, it is all depending upon the journal to journal. Some journal guidelines says 300 words, some 250. So you go through the guidelines, based upon that you prepare. So finally, the outline of the abstract is you are supposed to provide these 6 points. Purpose of the study. So in abstract, you begin with the objective in 1 or 2 lines, and the methodology provide in 1 or 2 lines, main findings 2 lines, applications of the study 2 lines, originality, what is the speciality, in 2 lines, further research 1 line. Then you will get 250 words, right? Next, keywords. What are the keywords you are supposed to provide? People are confusing. Some people provide the keywords other than the text, not related to the text. Please make a note that you are supposed to provide at least 6 keywords, 3 from title and 3 from text, right? Why keywords are given? It is used for indexing purpose. So keywords are the labels of a manuscript. It should be specific and it should be Google searchable words. And it should contain words and phrases. So you are the journal guidelines when selecting the keywords. So naturally, keywords are scientific terms, not can, it to. No, don't opt such keywords. It should be a scientific word. Next part is introduction. How to write introduction. If you write a good introduction, you are 50% success. What are the issues you are supposed to cover in introduction? Of course, you might be conducted the study very effectively. You might be written the empirical evidence. You have collected a lot of studies, literature survey, but you have to briefly explain about the introduction. You have to provide the brief context to the reader. You have to address the research problem. You have to motivate your research on the research problem, so you can claim your contribution. And as a matter of fact, you are supposed to provide a summary of evidence. And what is the significance of evidence? You provide some citations. At least for Scopus Index journal articles, you need to provide at least 8 to 10 citations or introduction. Don't write history and an outline of the rest of the paper. Next, review of literature. Basically, the function of review of literature is we have to focus previous research so that how your study fills the gap and what is the necessity of your study. And you have to make the boundaries, set boundaries, right? So these are all the sources for literature review. Books, previous research papers, popular media, index, statistics, handbooks. These are all the different sources which you need to refer. There are 3 types of sources of knowledge. Primary sources, which are conducted the study empirical evidence already published. That is called primary source. Secondary source means on the basis of secondary data might be published. The articles are called as secondary sources. Tertiary sources means it is a digest or indexes and books and almanacs. These are all the different sources. And after collecting different studies, you need to record various issues like name of the author of the article, title of the article, if it is a book, title of the book, author of the book. Like that, if you gone through, the any website, you have to provide the web link. You have to make a record it. Now, how to write the literature review? I will give you some points. Follow these points while writing the review of literature. Get the latest published material. Don't go last more than 10 years. Fast 10 years. Current literature is important. So identify relevant documents, both published and unpublished. So critically, you have to evaluate, write on your work, because plagiarism is a big issue. It can be some general specific conclusions. Avoid old published material. Read and write on your own one, even with your own words. That is most important. Don't copy the study, the study summary. Avoid plagiarism, because out of the total article, there is a more plagiarism in review of literature. You please make a note that all Scopus indexed journals, after receiving your article, immediately they will check plagiarism. If at all it is about 10%, immediately they will reject. Use paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a tool which is available in Google. Type paraphrasing, and if you want to copy one paragraph, paste it, click it, you will get a new para which is absolutely free from plagiarism. But please make a note that you have to verify the meanings, most important. Next, use scholarcy.com. It is also useful for summarizing the text. If you provide one page, it may provide a summary, which is also absolutely free from plagiarism. But thing is, you are supposed to check it up, the meanings, whether there is a change of meaning, that you have to check it up. Next. Immediately after review of literature, you are supposed to provide research gap under the heading of research gap. Many articles, what I observe is, many of them says that there are no studies. Like this, they write, there are no studies on this area. Some authors says that only few studies are covered. They covered only very simple, but not simple. You are supposed to provide the gap related to what is the evidence gap in different studies, what is the knowledge gap in different studies, what is the methodological gap, what is the theoretical gap, what is the empirical gap, what is population gap. All these gaps you have to analyze and provide under the heading of research gap. Then only your article is very, very qualitative, right? That is most important. Next, setting the objectives. Setting the objectives is an art, especially for PhD or a research project. You even for your article, Scopus article or Web of Science, if you set the objectives effectively, you are again off of success. You have to address the immediate project outcomes, and you have to accurate using the concepts. Objectives should be smart. It should be specific. It should be measurable. We have to measure it. We have to achieve it. It should be realistic, and should be timely. Because time is also most important. Within the stipulated time, we have to achieve the objectives. So objectives should not be more number, very limited numbers, less number, right? Now, I will brief you how to set the objectives to begin with. Every objective, please make a note that every objective must start like this: to study, to examine, to evaluate, to analyze, to explore, to assess, to identify. Like this, you are supposed to set the objectives. But some authors, even PhD scholars, they say to understand. No, you are not just understanding the, you are not writing your thesis for understanding the concepts. You are a researcher. You are investigating the issues. So you are supposed to explore. You are supposed to evaluate. You are supposed to identify any bottlenecks. Some scholars, they write like this: to coordinate. How you are a researcher, how you will coordinate at grassroots level? Such words you should not use. It should be investigative. The objective should be investigative, not administrative, right? So these are all the important things which you should consider research methods. For the last 2 days, there was a threadbare discussion. You might be attended the sessions which are related to data analysis, data interpretation, like the wonderful sessions taken by the seniors, experts. I hope you might be enjoying. Now, I will brief you the important things which you need to present in article. First, under the heading of research methods, you are supposed to provide what is the area you have chosen. That should be mentioned. Suppose you have chosen Telangana state for study. Why Telangana state is specifically chosen? What is the basis? That should be given. Next, whether it is a quantitative or qualitative. Qualitative means in words. Quantitative means in numbers. Which type of your study? Or both, quantitative or qualitative, both, or only qualitative or quantitative? That should be mentioned. That is most important. Next, primary, secondary. Whether your study is related to primary data or secondary data or both, that should also be most important. You are supposed to specify under the heading of research methods. Sample size and method. Many scholars, they say that in their article, our sample size is 500. I don't know how they got 500. I will raise a question. Why not 600? Why not 1000? There should be a formula. There should be some sampling method. What is the population size? Such a information you are supposed to provide under the sample size. Data collection instrument. Yes. Whether you are adopted a scheduled method or questionnaire method, that should also be specified. Of course, during a pandemic situation, you follow questionnaire method. If it is not a okay, conditions are good, you adopt scheduled method. Because if you adopt scheduled method, you will get experience at grassroots level. What is going on at grassroots level, you know very well. So therefore, you can adopt both questionnaire method and scheduled method if possible. Next, statistical tools. What are the different statistical tools you have adopted in interpreting the data? You are supposed to provide the information. So these are all the important contents you are supposed to cover. Next, under the heading of results, what you have to furnish. You have to present the output of the experiments and your model. It includes definitely primary data related issues, and you highlight some of the findings, and you should be clear and easy to understand. And for every table, you need to provide source. What is the source? Majority of the authors, they won't mention the source of tables, where you got it, whether it is a field data source or whether it is copied somewhere, that you are supposed to provide. If data is more, then you may provide at the end under the heading of supplementary data, right? Next, discussion. So you have to respond what the results means. You have to extract the principles, relationships, generalizations. Of course, you have to analyze the model already given in the results section, and you have to provide a relationship, and no doubt you have to provide some citations, but not too extensive. Why you need to provide citations? Because you have to compare the results with the previous, that is existing studies. So don't mix the results with the discussion, and don't provide new ideas suddenly in a paragraph. So I already told you that you have to compare with few existing studies. Next, with regard to conclusion, how to write conclusion. Please make a note that under the heading of conclusion, write down only with academic language, not statistical language. That means quantitative. Numbers, no number game in conclusions. Provide justification for the work. Explain how your study is advanced in the field. Of course, you need to provide some sessions. It may be under the heading separately, under the heading sessions, and make sure that readers are comfortable, and they may come out with something they carried out with their pocket, something special. Now I will brief you what are the do's and what are the don'ts while writing the conclusion. Do's. Briefly summarize some of the main points. Keep it short and sweet. That means don't go lengthy. Try to sound authoritative on your subject. End with flourish. And don'ts. Don't repeat the abstract or results. That means don't copy any information already given in abstract or results. Right? Don't quote if possible. No quotations, no citations. Don't use fluffy language. So the leader, ashtray with new material, you should not leave. Don't focus more on minor points. And please make a note that don't write appears to be, it seems, Probably. If you write like that, you are not a researcher. You are not a researcher. You are not a researcher. That means you are not authentic. Once you have conducted a study at grassroots level, you must be an authentic in providing the inputs or results or inferences. So don't write appears to be. It seems. Don't start conclusion with any of these words. In conclusion. Some authors write like this, in conclusion. Why already there is a heading of conclusion? Again, why you need to write conclusion, in conclusion? No, not necessary. Finally. Why? It is a final. Why again you need to write finally? In the end. Of course, it is already end. Again, in the end, no need. Next. Now I will brief you about bibliography and reference. Because when I attended many PhD vivas as a external expert throughout the country, I observed that many scholars, they don't know the difference between bibliography and reference. It is quite pathetic. Bibliography means for writing an article, you need to refer many books, many journals, many internet sources, like that. So all these sources are bibliography. Whereas references, only citations you quoted in the text. Text means in your article. That is references. So when you are writing a piece of work and use someone else's words or ideas, you must reference them. That is called references. The difference is references are specifically cited in your work, whereas bibliography is a list of all sources. It may be referred, internet sources, websites, books, journals, articles, reports, list, total list is bibliography, right? So, as an author, you are supposed to provide the citations list, what you may call it as references. You provide the list of references alphabetically. Please make a note that for a high indexed journals like Scopus, at least you are supposed to provide 30 to 40 references. In addition to references, you are supposed to provide web links for every article. At least 80% of the articles must possess web links. What we may call it as DOI, Digital Object Identifier. I will explain about DOI in the next slide. What is the importance of references? You can avoid plagiarism by providing references. Please make a note that references will be deleted while sending to the plagiarism. Acknowledge the contribution, because there is a dire need to acknowledge when you quote it, when you cite it, to support your work with authoritative work, to demonstrate your knowledge. You are supposed to help the researchers for further reference, for further research work, and you need to enhance the knowledge of researcher by way of providing many references, especially latest references. And you should see that the content is significant by providing concrete references. And of course, readers also easy to understand with the help of the references, because whenever they require, they will click the web link and they will get the PDF of total article. they will go through it and understand. So finally, it is an indication of the quality of article. What can be referenced? That means in an article, what citations, what quote we have to quote from where? Scientific articles, books, chapters, conference proceedings, policies, official source of statistics, unpublished documents, web pages. These are all the different sources which you can provide references. Now, I will brief you where you have to add the references in your total text of the article. I already told you that in introduction part, you are supposed to provide at least 8 to 10 citations. 8 to 10 citations. And in review of literature, at least 10 to 15 citations. That means 10 to 15 studies. That at least latest, not beyond 10 years. And in methods also, you can quote 1 or 2 references, and results also same, and discussion also 2 or 3 references. You can 2 or 3 citations you can provide to compare with the existing studies. Now I will brief you about the various important issues in writing good references. Please make a note that you must arrange alphabetically. All references must be arranged alphabetically. Please avoid, as far as possible, citing the conference articles and edited books. So you can verify whenever you quote the reference, you first verify the original article. That is most important. So I already told you that by avoiding citations, either conference articles or edited books, give top priority to journal articles. So journal citations are more stronger. Possible web links for articles. Web links, say, for the last few years, DOI links are provided. You are supposed to provide DOI link. It should be matched with the text. And you have to always provide the quote from top scientific indexed journals. Avoid self-citations. Recently, UGC has given guidelines stating that as far as possible, you please avoid self-citations. If you are already published, that should not be again you citing it. Avoid excessive citations and cite latest publications with DOI. I told you that I will explain about DOI in the next slide. Use correct style of journal. Which style you need to follow, whether APA, 7th edition, or IEEE, such which style you need to follow, it is all based upon the journal guidelines. You have to check it up. These are all the different softwares. Mendeley. Suppose for a topic, you need more citations. You need more references. You need more bibliography. You can get in the software that is Mendeley. Mendeley is absolutely free. Download, and you can be with your desktop. With Mendeley, you can get many number of references on your topic, even Jotary also. Like this, many software packages are there, but first 2 is of course free. Of course, some of them software packages you need to buy. No need, Mendeley is best. Next, different citation styles. American Psychological Association, APA 7th edition, for economics, commerce, management, and other social sciences are adopting APA. MLA style, Chicago, Caribbean, IEEE, many citations are there. It is all based upon the journal guidelines. You follow which citation style you are supposed to provide. APA 7th edition, how to write the format. If it is an article, first you have to write the author name, next year, in which year it is published, next title of the article, next journal of the article, next in which issue, volume, that means the page numbers from to, and DOI link. You are supposed to provide, this is DOI link. If it is book, title of the author, year, title of the book, which edition, journal, publisher name. Like that, e-book also you have to provide. Conference format also you can check, same, almost same. Even web pages also you can write like this. And about just you know something about International Standard Book Number, ISBN. ISBN is a 13-digit number. It is provided by Raja Ram Mohan Rai, ISBN agency, Ministry of Education. If you want to publish a book, you can file an application with Raja Ram Mohan Rai. They will provide ISBN number. It's not a problem. Now I will brief you digital object identifier. What is digital object identifier? Every author should know those who are publishing research papers in high index journals. Please make a note that out of 30 to 40 references, you are supposed to provide at least 70% of the articles with DOI link. DOI was introduced in the year 2000. It is a permanent document. It is a permanent web link. It is a lifetime web link. That is a DOI link. DOI link is provided to every article by an agency. These are all the different agencies, DOI agencies, cross-reference, data site. These are all the references. These are all the agencies. These agencies are provided service to the journals by providing each article one DOI link. Why DOI link is provided? Because it is a lifetime. Suppose if there is no DOI link, let us assume, what you will do when a journal upload your article, if it is an open access, what you will do, you go to the archives, click it, and you can get the PDF of article. Then what you will do, on the upper part of the web link, on the upper side, when a web link is available, you copy the web link and paste in your CV. But over a period of time, if you click the same web link, article will not appear. Why? Because the journal may upload the articles in every month issue. Therefore, the web link may be changed. That is why digital object identifier was introduced, and it is provided. Which is a lifetime link, lifetime document. That at any time you can click it, a PDF article will appear. That is DOI. So whenever you quote, you check it up DOI link. Whenever you send the article, you check it up whether they are providing DOI or not. Then only you take a decision to send the article for publication. Now, I will give you some tips to avoid plagiarism, because this is the big issue for every author, for every scholar, for every faculty member, for every senior professors also. In fact, to avoid plagiarism or to reduce plagiarism, read and understand the original article, and you always provide some citations to all the sources. Make use of paraphrasing. I already told you that go to Google, type paraphrasing. Later you will get one box. You need one paragraph to reduce the plagiarism. Paste it, click it, you will get a new paragraph, which is absolutely free with plagiarism. But meanings may be changed. You please go through it carefully. Present your own idea because your own ideas are most important. If you provide own ideas, then no plagiarism. Use a plagiarism checker in Google. You can make use of plagiarism checker of 1-2 paragraphs. You can check it out. Your own insights. You provide your own insights. Then no plagiarism. Rewriting is also most important. Change the sentence structure. Suppose you copied one line. As far as possible, you change the structure. Then it cannot attract the plagiarism. So finally, write and rewrite again, and then revise. Then you can, as far as possible, reduce the plagiarism. These are all the different softwares available, but the prime softwares are Turnitin, Urkund, Authenticate. As per the UGC norms, Turnitin and Urkund are adapted to check the PhD thesis. Majority of the Scopus Indexer journals are using the Authenticate software. So before sending the article, you check in Authenticate software about your plagiarism. Authenticate is the sister concern of Turnitin. You check in Authenticate, and then you send the article if it is below 10% of plagiarism. And finally, what leads to acceptance? So attention to details, because you have done a lot of work in conducting the study. Check the details very effectively. Check and double check your work. Consider the reviewers' comments. Suppose if reviewers have sent any remarks, any comments, don't be disappointed. You review it, you revise it. English must be as good as possible. Of course, we are not born in English. So, as far as possible, you go through Grammarly software, you can rectify it. Presentation is most important. So take your time with the revision. If it is to be revised. Generally, all Scopus Indexer journals, at a time, they won't accept our article. At least some revisions the reviewers may ask. Acknowledge those who have helped you, new, original, and previously unpublished. Critically evaluate your manuscript. And please make a note that the last point which I am focused is moral values. Ethics, research ethics are most important. You should be weighed with research ethics. You are the role model. Don't copy. Write you on your own. Then only you will be success in writing the papers. Right? So that's all about my presentation. If you are having any doubts, you can WhatsApp me with my number. And now also open for questions. Most welcome. Over to organizers. Thank you very much for providing me the wonderful opportunity. And I thank Professor Narasimha Rao, who is my old friend. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think he also attended the program. Thank you, sir. Now, I request the participants to raise any issue. Most welcome. I am ready to.
Malayali sir, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Fine. How about you?
Fine, fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Little leader.